This week's essential question is, how do nouns function in a sentence? We'll be talking about how to change nouns to show possession and how to tell which nouns are common and which ones are proper. A common noun names any person, place, or thing. Common nouns are not capitalized. A person could be a girl, a place could be a park, and a thing could be an apple. You'll see these are not capitalized. Proper nouns name specific people, places, or things. Proper nouns are capitalized. So a person could be Dr. Winslow. And you'll see we capitalize both their title and the name. If I said Toby, we would only capitalize the first letter because Toby doesn't have Mr. or Mrs. before him. But if it was Mr. Toby, we would capitalize both the M in Mr. and the T in Toby. A place could be Farmington Middle School. And see, we capitalize all three first letters. And a thing could be Pepsi. We capitalize Pepsi because it's a brand name. You have to be careful with this, though, because some words can be confusing. For example, an apple is the specific name of a fruit, but is it a proper noun? Because there are many apples in the world, apple is not a proper noun. If we gave the apple a name, Bob, for instance, Bob the apple would be the specific name of the apple, thus Bob would be capitalized. Here's the trick. Because common nouns name any person, place, or thing, you can usually put a or the before them. If you can put a or the before it, or an, if it starts with a vowel, it's probably a common noun. If you can't, it's probably a proper noun. The dog is a common noun because we can put the before it. The Mr. Wilson doesn't really sound right. It doesn't really make sense. So because we cannot put the before Mr. Wilson, he is a proper noun. Possessive nouns show ownership by using apostrophes. Apostrophes look like commas, but they're up above. So they're not on the line. So for example, the dog's dish. That apostrophe shows that the dish is owned by the dog. There are some tricks to how to make a noun possessive, how to show that it owns something. If it is a singular noun, which means it's only one thing, you add apostrophe S. So, dog plus apostrophe S is dogs. So, the dog's dish shows that the dish is owned by the dog. Man is one thing. So we add apostrophe S to man, we get man's, and we can say a man's car, which shows that the car is owned by the man. If it's a plural noun, or it's a noun that shows more than one thing, we only add the apostrophe, no S. So, boys, there are more than one boy, right? There are at least two boys, making it plural. So we only add the apostrophe. So the boys' game. The game is owned or being played by the boys. If there are multiple owners, we only add the apostrophe. So we get owners meeting. If we put the apostrophe before the S, it shows that there's only one owner. So if it's more than one owner, it has to go after the S. If it's a singular noun, meaning just one thing, with more than one syllable. So syllables, if you hold your hand right under your chin, every time your jaw drops, that's a syllable. So one only has one syllable. 7 has 2 syllables. Syllable has 3 syllables. So if it has more than one syllable and it ends in S or Z, we only add the apostrophe. So, for example, business. Business has 2 syllables. Business ends in an S. So, in order to make it possessive, we only add the apostrophe, so it's just business. Cortez. Cortez is probably a person. Cortez has 2 syllables, so we only add the apostrophe. Now, if the singular noun ends in S or Z but is only 1 syllable, we do add apostrophe S. So Chris. Chris ends in an S, but it's only 1 syllable, so we add apostrophe S to make Chris's. Oz ends in a C, but is only 1 syllable, so we add apostrophe S to make Oz's. Plural nouns, meaning more than one thing, that do not end in S. Because these words are plural on their own, without adding the S, put apostrophe S to separate the S from the word. So for example, women. Women shows that it's more than one woman, so it is plural, but there's no S on it to begin with, whereas most nouns are made plural by adding an S. So we do put apostrophe S on women's. So the women's department in the clothing store would have an apostrophe S. Same thing with people. People show that it's more than one person. So we would use apostrophe S because people does not end in an S. So, on to our vocabulary words for the week. To identify something is to show what something is. So, if I can identify 4 golden retrievers in the group of dogs, I can tell you which ones are golden retrievers. If I can identify the parts of speech in a sentence, I can tell you which part of speech each word is. A ritual is a tradition always done in a particular situation or ceremony. So the rain dance is a ritual of many Native American tribes. This usually has some spiritual significance for whoever's completing the ritual. To tremble is to shake with great emotion. It could be fear, it could be anger, it could be nervousness. So the thunder made me tremble with fear. Sympathy is a feeling that you care about or feel sorry for someone else's grief or trouble. So if I feel sympathy for someone, I feel bad for them. And artillery are large guns that shoot over a great distance. We could hear the artillery firing from far away. This is the end of today's note session. Please write your 20-word summary. Make sure you have labeled today's notes with Quarter 1, Week 3, today's date, and today's essential question. Then place today's notes inside the prongs of your grammar folder behind all previous sets of notes. Bring this folder with you on Monday to get credit for the notes and to use on the practice.